Have you ever opened your phone, scrolled through a feed, and suddenly felt your stomach drop? Maybe it was a picture of an ex, a reminder of a friendship that ended badly, or even a post that takes you right back to a mistake you made years ago. That right there is called digital haunting. It's when the ghosts of your past live inside your phone, showing up in moments you least expected, and pulling you back into pain you thought you'd left behind. See, your brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening now and what you're remembering. When you see that photo, that name, and that comment, it's like reliving the pain all over again. And the more you feed that loop, the more you give your past power over your present. No wonder so many people feel stuck, drained, or unable to move forward. You're not broken for feeling this. It's normal. We live in a time where every memory, every relationship, every mistake is stored online like a permanent tattoo. This is all new for humanity. Our parents didn't deal with this. Their past could stay in the past. Our existence lives in algorithms, notifications, and memories that pop up without permission. The good news is you don't have to live haunted. There's power to curate your environment, both online and offline. You don't have to keep old connections just because you feel guilty. You don't have to hold on to reminders that only bring you pain. You can choose what you allow into your space, and that choice is where your freedom begins. First, you've got to stop being passive with your digital world. Most people scroll on autopilot, letting old ghosts dictate how they feel. But you can change that. Start by asking yourself, does this account, does this person, this memory add to my life or drain it? If it drains you, unfollow, mute, or delete, and don't apologize for it. Protecting your peace is not being rude, it's being responsible. Letting go of digital ghosts isn't just about avoiding pain, it's about creating space for new joy. If your energy is always being pulled backwards, how can you possibly move forward? The moment you reclaim your feed, your time, your focus, you reclaim your future. Now, I know it's not always easy. Some part of you might feel afraid. Afraid of what it means to finally let go, afraid of missing something, afraid of moving on. But fear is just a sign that change is happening, and change is where growth lives. You don't need to erase your past, you just need to stop letting it control you. You're replacing the haunting with healing. Instead of keeping old wounds at your fingertips, you will fill your feed with voices that lift you up, with content that inspires you, and with reminders of the life you want to create. Your phone can be a prison or it can be a tool. It all depends on what you allow inside it. And don't stop with your phone. When the past shows up in your mind, instead of fighting it, ask yourself, what did this teach me? How has this made me stronger? That's how you take the sting out of memory and turn it into fuel. Because at the end of the day, digital haunting is just a reflection of something bigger. Are you living in the past, or are you ready to step into your future? You can't control the memories that pop up, but you can control how much power you give them. You can stop scrolling through ghosts and start walking towards life. Because when you stop letting the past haunt you, the future finally has a chance to find you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you just stepped outside and breathed? I'm not talking about rushing to your car or walking to the mailbox. I'm talking about spending time in nature, just you, disconnected from screens, you and nature. It's easy to forget that we are part of the natural world. Our bodies were made to move, to feel the sun on our skin. But too often we're surrounded by noise, by screen time, by co-workers and friends occupying our time. We treat the outdoors like an afterthought, like something extra. Like if we have time, we'll do it. But nature isn't extra at all. In fact, it's essential. More and more research is showing what we already knew, that nature heals. Being in a green space can lower your stress, reduce anxiety, even help with depression. You see, just walking through the park, touching trees, sitting down on the grass, being grounded, it all adds up. Your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, your thoughts settle, and you begin to feel more human again. Doctors in some parts of the world are prescribing time in nature the same way that they would prescribe pills or medication. And the reason they do this is because it works. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't have time, or I don't live near the water. But neither of those are essential for green wellness. It can be as simple as having your morning coffee outside, or going for a walk after lunch, or sitting under a tree on your break. All of these are not big things, but they're real things, and they bring you back to yourself. We spend so much time taking care of everybody else. We pour our energy into work, paying bills, and everything in between. But what happens if you don't refill your own cup? That's what green wellness is all about. It's about reconnecting with what makes us feel alive. Slowing down and grounding ourselves. Letting nature remind us that life doesn't have to be rushed, doesn't have to move so fast. We can take time for ourselves. This is about self-care. This is survival. We all have stress. We all have burdens that no one sees, but nature doesn't ask questions. It waits for us, and then it heals. So try spending 5 minutes a day with nature. That's it. Go for a walk. Touch the grass or a tree. Feel the wind. Be still. You don't need fancy tools, you just need to show up. Nature has always been there. It's waiting, ready to remind you of who you are. And it's time you reconnected. This is your medicine. It's free, it's simple, and it works. People love setting goals. They're shiny, exciting, and they give us something to chase. But goals will let you down if you don't love the path that leads to them. Anyone can get hyped about a goal, losing 20 pounds, making 6 figures, writing a book. Problem is, goals live in the future, but the path is what you wake up to every single day. And if you hate your path, if every step feels like punishment, you'll never stick with it long enough to reach the finish line. That's why discipline fades for so many people. They're chasing an outcome, but resenting the process. And when that feeling gets strong enough, they quit. Not because they couldn't reach the goal, but because they couldn't stand the path that was supposed to get them there. Discipline isn't about pushing harder. It's about setting up a path you're willing to walk day in, day out. That means building a routine that fits your life, your energy, and your values. Not someone else's plan and not what looks cool on social media. Let's say your goal is to get fit. That's great. But are you picking a path you can stick to? Because if you're forcing yourself to do 6 a.m. workouts when you're not a morning person, or eating like a robot with zero joy, how long do you think that will last? Probably not long. Instead, ask, what path makes sense for me? Maybe you love late night gym sessions. Maybe your version of eating clean still includes pizza once a week. That's okay. The best path is the one that you'll keep walking. Because the path isn't just the way to your goal, it becomes your life. If you want to write a book, don't fall in love with being an author, fall in love with writing every day. If you want to run a marathon, don't chase the finish line. Fall in love with lacing up your shoes, with the training, with the early mornings and sore legs. You don't need to be obsessed, but you do need to respect the process. You need to set up habits that align with your real life, not just your dream outcome. Here's something people forget. Goals give you the direction, but your path gives you momentum. And that momentum is what creates discipline. Because every small step reinforces your identity. When you walk your path consistently, you begin to say, this is who I am. This is what I do. And that identity shift is where real discipline comes from. Not from forcing yourself, but from seeing yourself as someone who follows through. You have to find joy in the process. When you learn to enjoy the path, even the hard parts, you stop waiting for the goal to make you feel good. You start to find the pride in your journey itself, and that's the game changer. Because now success isn't some faraway thing, it's something you get to feel today just by showing up. So if your discipline has been fading, maybe it's not that you're weak. Maybe it's that you've been focusing too much on the goal and not enough on the path. Step back and ask yourself, does this path support the life I want to live? Am I building something I can maintain? Can I enjoy the steps, not just the outcome? If the answer is no, then adjust the path. Don't throw away the vision, just change how you're walking toward it. Because lasting discipline doesn't come from chasing harder. It comes from walking your path one step at a time and trusting that every step matters. Not just because of where it's going, but because of who you're becoming along the way. People learn how to treat you based on what you allow. Every time you stay silent when someone disrespects you, every time you ignore that gut feeling because you don't want to cause drama, every time you put yourself last just to keep the peace, you're not just tolerating it, you're teaching it. You're teaching them that it's okay to cross your boundaries, that your needs can be ignored, that your time, energy, and peace are up for grabs. You see, what you tolerate, you teach. That means if you keep making excuses for people who constantly let you down, if you let people dump their problems on you without ever checking in on yours, or if you let your own dreams take a back seat so someone else can drive, you're setting a standard. You're telling the world, this is fine. But guess what? You can raise the standard. You can unteach what you've taught. You can draw the line and say, no more. And no, it doesn't have to come from anger or hate. This isn't about revenge. It's about respect for yourself. Because the way you allow people to treat you is a reflection of how much you value yourself. And when you start valuing yourself more, everything changes. The people who truly care about you will rise to meet you. And the people who don't will fall away. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to stay. But here's the shift. It starts with you, your boundaries, your voice, and your decisions. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. So if you constantly put yourself last, others will too. If you brush off your own feelings, others will too. If you never say no, people will keep asking for more because you've shown them that your yes comes cheap. But when you begin to say, this is what I need, when you say, that's not okay with me, and when you say, I matter too, you shift your energy. And sure, some people won't like the new version of you, and that's fine. You're not here to make everybody comfortable. You're here to honor your worth. You're allowed to have standards. You're allowed to walk away from what doesn't feel right, and you're allowed to protect your peace without explaining yourself to everyone. It's not selfish, it's survival. It's self-respect, it's leadership. Because every time you stand up for yourself, kindly, clearly, and confidently, you're not just teaching others how to treat you, you're showing others how to treat themselves. You become the example, the one who doesn't settle, the one who holds the line, the one who walks in truth even if it's uncomfortable. So if something in your life feels off, if you feel like you're being taken advantage of, or if your heart is tired from always giving and never receiving, just ask yourself, what am I tolerating? Then decide, what am I willing to teach moving forward? You have the power to change the story. You have the right to raise your standards, and you have the strength to reset the tone. And it begins the moment you stop tolerating what doesn't serve you. What you tolerate, you teach. So teach wisely, live boldly, and never forget your worth. How many times have you hesitated to start something because you thought you needed to be perfect? Maybe it was a business idea, a fitness journey, or even just writing the first page of that book. I know you tell yourself, I'll start when I have it all figured out, or I just need a little bit more time to get it right. And so you wait, and you wait, and you wait. You wait because perfection is a trap. It keeps you frozen in place, and it convinces you that if you can't do something flawlessly, well then it's not worth doing at all. But the truth is, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to do what is required. Think about a builder working on a house. If he sat there obsessing over every single measurement before laying the first brick, nothing would ever get built. The foundation wouldn't be poured, the walls wouldn't go up, the roof would just remain an idea. But what does the builder do? He starts with the basics. He follows the process, and brick by brick, he creates something real. And the same applies to you. Whether it's a new goal, a skill that you want to master, or a dream you've been pushing aside, the most important thing you can do is take the first step. Because action, not perfection, is what leads to progress. One reason we fall into the perfection trap is fear. We fear judgment, we fear failure, and we fear looking like we don't know what we're doing. But have you ever looked at someone else who was just starting out and thought, wow, they should have been perfect from the start? Of course not. You probably admire their courage for trying. So why do you hold yourself to an impossible standard? Another reason why people wait is that they think perfection equals success. But look at the most successful people in any field. They didn't wait until they were perfect to begin. They took the leap, made mistakes, and adjusted along the way. They all started somewhere, usually far from perfect, but they committed to the process, improving step by step. So how do you break free from perfection mindset and just do what is required? First, you need to redefine success. Instead of seeing success as being flawless, you need to see it as making progress. A rough draft is better than no draft. A short workout is better than no workout. A single step forward is better than standing still. Second, embrace imperfection as part of the process. You won't get everything right the first time, and that's okay. Mistakes are not proof of failure, they are proof that you are trying. And the sooner you start, the sooner you learn, the sooner you grow and improve. Third, focus on action. Just ask yourself, what is the next step I need to take? Not the next 10 steps or the whole plan, just the very next thing that needs to get done, and then do it. If you started today and did just a little bit each day, where could you be in 6 months, a year, or 5 years? But if you keep waiting for the perfect time, where will you be? The answer is right where you are now. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. You just need to take action. Because once you do, you'll realize that progress, not perfection, is what matters. So whatever it is you've been putting off, whatever dream or goal you've been afraid to chase, start now. Do what is required, and the rest will follow. In your lifetime, there's going to be highs and lows, moments of triumph and times of struggle. And while we might not always be where we want to be, we can take a moment to reflect on how far we've come. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm grateful I'm not where I used to be. That's a powerful reminder that progress is worth celebrating, even if it doesn't feel monumental. Too often we're so focused on the destination that we forget to appreciate the journey, the lessons we've learned, the battles we've fought, and the growth we've experienced. There was a time when you'd be happy with where you are right now, a time when today's reality seemed comfortable. Maybe you were stuck in a job you hated, and now you're working towards your passion. Maybe you were in a place of emotional pain, and now you found healing. Maybe you were weighed down by fear, and now you're stepping into courage. Wherever you are, give yourself credit for the journey. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step closer to the person you're becoming. This sentiment is universal. Take the caterpillar, for example. When it's cocooned, it doesn't know what lies ahead. The transformation into a butterfly isn't instant. It's a process. It's messy and uncertain. But the caterpillar doesn't give up, and neither should you. There was a story of a young artist who wanted to master his craft. For years he sketched, painted, and practiced, frustrated because he wasn't producing masterpieces. But one day he stumbled upon his first drawing from years before. It was rough, unpolished, and barely recognizable. But in that moment, he realized something profound. He wasn't a master yet, but he had come so far. That's the power of gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's already here. It reminds us that even though the mountain peak is still ahead, we've already climbed so much. But gratitude isn't just about acknowledgement. It's fuel. It keeps you going when the road feels long. It reminds you why you started in the first place. Take a moment today to look back, not to dwell on the past, but to appreciate it. Think about the challenges you faced, the sleepless nights, the doubts, the sacrifices. And then think about how much stronger, wiser, and more resilient you've become. You see, growth doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it's about enduring the tough times, holding on when it feels like you have nothing left, and trusting that better days are ahead. No, you might not be where you want to be just yet, but you're not where you used to be. And that, my friends, is something to be proud of.